multiple choice questions from my October mock paper 1. I think it's 2024 as well, maybe 2023, I'm not sure. Question 5, which atom has 2 more protons and 2 more neutrons than this? So first thing I would do, calculate the number of neutrons. 52 minus 24, 28 neutrons, but it wants 2 more neutrons, therefore it's got to have 30 neutrons. 2 more protons, and therefore the bottom number has got to be 2 more than 24, 26. Therefore 26 is going to be a different atom, it's going to be iron. So it can't be A and B. And because it's got 30 neutrons, 56 minus 26 will give me 30 neutrons, whereas 54 minus 26 won't give me 30 neutrons. Which of these ions has the largest ionic radius? Should know key fact, negative ions have larger ionic radiuses than positive ions. Therefore, it's definitely not going to be the positive ions, because positive ions have small ionic radiuses than negative ions. And negative ions have large ionic radiuses, and positive ions is going to be the one with the most negative ion. Therefore, it's going to be A, S2 minus. Question 7. In which pairs the first ionization energy of atom Y greater than that of atom X? In part A, it's definitely not going to be that, because that's in a different orbital with Y, electron configuration atom Y, it's going to have more shielding, all of that. B, well, that's got electron pair repulsion theory, therefore it's going to have a slightly lower energy, a slightly lower first ionization energy than X. So now I'm left with C and D, and it's not going to be D because that's also in another orbital compared to that one, therefore it's going to have more shielding and it's going to have a lower first ionization energy, definitely not a greater. So the answer is going to be C. Full orbital, both in the same orbitals, it's going to have a greater first ionization energy. Question 8. An atom has all its electrons in the lowest energy levels. Which atom contains only 2 unpaired electrons? Helium, 1s2, 2s2. Beryllium, which I can't find. Beryllium should be here somewhere. Therefore, 1s2, 2s2. Oxygen has got 8 electrons. 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Iron has 26 electrons. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s2, how many is that? 4, 10, 12, 18, 20, 4s2, 4p6. I think that's iron. So which atom contains only 2 unpaired electrons? It's not going to be A, not going to be B, both of those are paired s orbitals. Only 2 unpaired electrons, yeah, it's not going to be A or B. If I look at C, oxygen, 3p orbitals, 4 electrons, 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th electron must bond with one of them, and therefore I will be left with 2 unpaired electrons. The free answer is C, oxygen. Whereas iron is just going to be a full, just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, full 6 electrons, no unpaired electrons. Question 9. Which statement about isotopes of an element is not correct? I don't really like this. I don't know why, because sometimes in time conditions you can assume it means correct. Just cross it out and write false. Which statement about isotopes of an element is false? They have the same chemical properties. They have the same number of electrons and ions of the same charge. They have the same number of neutrons. Well, definition of isotopes, atoms of the same element with the same number of protons. So they have the same number of protons. That's true. Which one's false? But different number of neutrons. They have the same number of neutrons. That is false. Different number of neutrons. They have the same chemical properties. True. Or very similar. Yeah, same chemical properties. They have the same number of electrons and ions of the same charge. Same number of electrons and ions of the same charge. Yeah, ions of the same charge are going to have the same number of electrons because they've got the same number of protons, same number of electrons. They have the same number of neutrons? No, they have different number of neutrons. Isotopes are atoms of the element, same number of protons but different number of neutrons. Question 10. The first 6 ionization energies in kilojoules mole to power minus 1 of an element are. What is element? Sometimes it shows you as a graph. It's kind of question, 1 marker. Sometimes it just gives you the data. In this case, first 6 ionization energies. What you need to look for is where there's a massive jump in ionization energy. So 1090, 23,500, 4,600, 4,610, 6,220, 37,800. So that's significantly bigger than the other jumps in ionization energy. And then 37,800 to 47,000. Yes, that's a big jump as well, but not as significant as 6,220 to 37,800. So that tells me that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 4. Because the electron is being removed from the 4th electron and then it's caused that massive jump in ionization, you just 1 before the massive jump. So that's a massive jump there. So the element, that tells me the element must be in group 4. Now just look at boron. Boron is in group 3. Carbon is in group 4. Nitrogen is in group 5. Oxygen is in group 6. So because the massive jump in ionization energy 4 to 5, the electron element must be in group 4. Boron is in group 3. It can't be boron. It must be carbon. Carbon is the only one in group 4. Nitrogen is group 5. Oxygen group 6. So that answer is B. And that is the end of the multiple choice questions.